I want to make sure that every one of us now in the same place and in the same ground. The data is already protected since the last century, but what is the new approach since the GDPR in 2016 is mainly the 5 concepts. The GDPR already defined the data controller, the data processor, the processing activities, the data subject, and the DBO. So mainly the data protection laws working around those 5 concepts. The data controller, he is the one who decide what kind of data we should collect, even he collected himself or by a processor, or what kind of data is going to be under processing in general. The data processor is working under the supervision of data controller. So every contract we have, you may have a controller to controller, controller to processor, processor to processor, or processor to controller. So in the first place, as a DBO, as a legal counsel, you should define the parties in the first place to know what kind of obligations under every one of them, who is going to make what, and who is going to report to the regulatory authority. So this is the first part. What is the processing activities in the first place? What considered as a personal data and what is not? With personal data is every single data can identify someone by directly or indirectly. I can say Eslam. Okay, it's a direct data that can identify me. I can say my street. I can say my street number, my address, my IP address, my digital fingerprint, whatever can identify an individual is a personal data. Who is the data subject? Me. The one that you can identify him by the data. Who is the DBO? The one who should be the responsible in every entity to be responsible to make all the controls live and working, controls and data protection laws. So when you define all the parties, you should identify also the jurisdiction, because in UAE we may have the federal law, as you mentioned, Sally, but we also have the DFC data protection law, the ADGM data protection regulation. We have in Saudi Arabia the new PDPL. We have in every single country in GCC its own PDPL. We are not like Europe. They have only GDPR, but in here you have in one country you may face 3 different data protection law. So mainly my approach to any new vendor, any new challenge, define the parties, define the obligations, know your position as a controller or a processor or only reseller, that you are not going to process or control anything. So you have no obligations in that time. So when you evaluate, you know your position, and after that you should continue.